I'm in between races. See my turtleneck here? In between races here at Northfield Park. I had to position my car so the lighting from the track was behind me, so I could do one of these videos, or maybe two, depends. I was in race 6 and I'm not in again. I told somebody to drive their horse in the 12th. What was I thinking? The 12th race, so I'm going to drive in the 12th. Not a big deal. Man, oh man, was I ever happy today. I know even Curtis was worried. Curtis said, hey, Anthony, I don't know if this thing's going to work. We haven't tried it yet. We don't know what's going to happen with the cameraman here in Northfield Park. Curtis was worried because Curtis is a perfectionist. I love that about him. And I'm the guy that says, listen, first step, get it done. Second step, do it better next time. So that's me. I said, Curtis, just do the best you can, and then we'll see how it is. I said, everybody in Ontario is locked down. People just want to see their horses. And, I think we're set up on this side. Worst case scenario, if the feed doesn't work from Northfield, then we'll record it and chop the videos up and send them out to our clients. Didn't have to. Went off without a hitch. Everything was good today. There was a flow, too. The Ontario one was over. Out we went right away with the Ohio group. We only had 3 breakers in Ohio, and these were repeat offenders. But horses that, like Granite Hill, I told you guys, you're going to have to cut him some slack. I still believe this horse will be fine. It's just going to take all the way till June, I think, to get it right. Who else? Big Matt. Matt loves to make breaks on TV, doesn't he? He was great on Thursday. I know exactly what happened with him today. And I find myself saying this all the time and sticking up for Matt. I don't have to. I'm just going to tell you he's fast. He'll get over these breaks. We'll get him squared away, and that'll be that. Made a break today. He tied up. I know the little girl that takes care of him, Shelby, takes care of him. And then after the training set, she goes, hey, this horse seems stiff? And he was. He didn't tie up today. He probably tied up a little bit on Thursday. He ended up going, and this was after he got him thawed out, he ended up going 1.25 miles after, which was fine. Matt made a break, and then another horse that's going to take some time. She has her good days and her bad days. Sweet on Pete. It's going to take a little time. I don't want to talk too much about the babies just yet because I have all my sets on my old phone, so I can pull up the sets. Problem is I need Wi-Fi to do that. There's no Wi-Fi here at the track. So this looks like probably a tomorrow discussion to talk about the babies. Definitely going to have a top 10 list. Really pumped about a lot of horses. Standouts on this side of the border. I can tell you the horse that caught my eye. Last week we saw Perfect Record, raced well at the Meadowlands, made a break last night. But raced well at the Meadowlands last week. His qualifier, his approach to racing this year, complete 180 from last year. Just such a great feeling. I know he ran last night, but he's not going to run every week. We'll get him squared away. And then the other horse, Sweet Ambitions, raced great last week. Raced a little poor this week. Now, she bled a little bit. I wouldn't say she bled enough to show the line that she did. To win off 2 strong moves in 56 and then come back with a flat, abysmal 59, unimpressive is an understatement. Disappointed is one. So Tim had put her on Lasix. We're going to take her back here for a week, tinker with her, maybe school her Thursday, see how she schools, and then go from there. She's going to skip a week. A Glare AM is in this week. Now, I trained a Glare AM this morning by herself. She went to go with That's My Girl, and That's My Girl made a little break, jumped over something. I know exactly what it was, a shin boot in the first turn. Jumped over a shin boot in the first turn. Just caught it with her eye and lost herself. But she's made breaks before, but Travis Henry was going with her just as well, maybe. I thought maybe she was ready to go in 2-4, but we had 2 horses left to train. I wanted to train a Glare AM around 2 minutes, and That's My Girl. So I said, we'll see how That's My Girl feels. I'll cut it, which we know a Glare AM from her break at the Meadows. It cost her that spot in the final. We know that she doesn't love the front end, but there was nowhere else to put her today. I put her on the front end with her hood and earplugs on, just kept her moving forward. Travis made a break in the first turn, ended up going 1 mile and 2-4 and a bit, come out 59, come 29 seconds, which is good. Kind of where I wanted to go anyway with her. The other filly went 1 mile 59 last quarter and 28-2. She was very, very good. Coming into Wednesday's race, this was a perfect day to train her that speed. When the vet was here, scoped her after. A little bit of mucus. We're going to work to clean that up. No blood, no nothing else, no redness, just a little bit of mucus. Probably residual mucus from her sickness 2 weeks ago. But a very strong last quarter, again, by herself. So a good mile from her. She's in Wednesday. We'll ship her down to Tim. We'll work on, I brought Braemar and Sweet Ambitions back here for a week to work on them. Braymar's got a stake race next Saturday at the Meadows, and Sweet Ambitions will be in next week also at the Meadows. So it's a great relationship being close to Tim, Jason. I know Jason, I feel bad. I think he's a little, and he told me he's a little overwhelmed with this amount of horses here. We must have 45 horses here, and there's more coming. Jason likes it around 20. Jason is a super organized guy, the opposite of me in that regard. That's my biggest downfall, is I'm not an organized person when it comes to having the training board proper, having all the horses, everything set up perfectly. Jason is incredibly meticulous, and I love that about him. But when you dump a bunch of stuff on him, it's overwhelming, right? So I get it. I understand where he's coming from. I asked him just to hold on tight, that, we're there. He's got a supporting staff that is going to work with him, and we'll get everything done. We got some more yearlings, 2-year-olds coming this way because James is heading to New Jersey. Now, if James is going to head to New York and New Jersey for a couple weeks, there's no need of Will to Win and 3 Point Blue Chip being in Ontario any longer. I left them there for James. If there's no James, they don't need to be there. We'll bring them over with us. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horses on the list to come here this week. 1 3-year-old. I know I still get a ton of emails. What about getting them in here? I had a gentleman, Larry, sent me a message today. Philadelphia can probably accommodate with short fields. No doubt they can accommodate. But are our horses ready? I'm not going to just dump them into the deep end of the ocean with sharks when they're not really ready to go there. A horse like No Free Lunch isn't ready to pace in 53 today. I know he will. He's not ready to go there. We trained him in 2-2 or 2-1 at Mohawk. I'm sure Harry's only been back in maybe 2-5, 2-6 at most at Tamiko. If we had 5 weeks, now we're working with the hypothesis that the government is under an extraordinary amount of pressure to be back the last week of May. If we get back the last week of May. Now here's the timeline. Take No Free Lunch over. He's not qualified. So 2 ships or 1, let's say 2 for now, take him over to Northfield Park, qualify him. He's going to need 2 qualifiers if you think he's going to go out and pace 53. So we qualify him in 58, 57, something like that here. Maybe 58. Come back with 54, 55. Now that 3rd week, now we're into the 3rd week of May. That 3rd week, he's ready to go, right? That's also when Ontario says they're opening up. So theoretically, we could take this horse over here, get him qualified, and put him in to go. Let's say we go to Philadelphia. Let's say we go to Massachusetts. Let's say we go anywhere. Let's say we go here. That's the 3rd week. Same week you'd be racing in Ontario. You're in against non-winners of 3 company, many of them with 4 or 5 more starts this year already. And you're going to ask him, you're going to ask him to, you're going to ask him to race against those horses. It's just, you could do more harm than good. Keep in mind, there are some Ontario horses in the States right now racing. There is. But there's a lot more that are not. It's a long year, and I need to make the right choice. My hypothesis about Massachusetts was based on the fact that they would race June 15th. I really thought June 1st, June 15th. June 1st is tight. June 1st gives you a start, maybe 2, for a horse like No Free Lunch. Even a horse maybe like Adrenaline Rush. June 15th gives you 3 or 4 starts. That is a totally different ball game, but not the one we're playing. I have to go with what I'm looking at. The numbers are starting to slowly creep down. ICU numbers are still high, but that's what was expected, right? This is the peak, I believe. And we're just about to start May 1st. So is it realistic May 26th we'll be back racing? I suppose, yes. So where does that leave us? The only 3-year-old I have scheduled to come over here is War We Welcome. I will qualify her Thursday morning right here. She was supposed to train today. It looks like she got cast. Her legs blew up a little bit. It's not a big deal. She was racing. If James says she's all right, which it appears she was, I believe she jogged. If she's okay, the plan would be even to ship her over here Wednesday morning, qualify her Thursday because it's 30-day box now here in Pennsylvania, and then make a decision. Where do we race her? There's a maiden here. There's a maiden at the Meadows. There's a maiden in Massachusetts. There's a maiden everywhere for that filly. Lots of options for a horse like War We Welcome, and she's already pretty well ready. She just needs to qualify. So War We Welcome is the only 3-year-old for sure on the ship this week, right? And I think I've made a pretty clear case why. Unless somebody out there, I know Larry said he thinks it's going to be longer than the 20th, but there really is no evidence other than trying to read between the lines that would suggest that it wouldn't be May 20th or May 26th. So unless you can make a good case to me, it will be past June 1st. Then I really think taking horses like No Free Lunch, Adrenaline Rush, Brilliant Corners, and there's a number of others, Northern Blizzard, any of those horses. He trained in 2-4 today, by the way. It was very good. Unless you can show me where those horses need to leave, then I really don't think it's a wise plan. So, War We Welcome is on the ship. She'll be heading over this week. Will to win Hanover, I just said 3-point blue chip, and Will to win Hanover will be coming here for sure. Procrastinator. Maybe the biggest turnaround in the universe. I swooned over how beautiful Sweet Ambitions raced. How I was so wrong about this filly, how good she was. Then she come back with a clunker. All right, I don't care. Kick the clunker out. I know what I felt. I know what I sat behind the week before, and she was great. I'm going to discount last week's race. She's going on Lasix. Fine. I just want to see the same filly I saw before come back. Sweet Ambitions, unbelievable change. Perfect Record, unbelievable change. You're talking about full 180s on these horses. But I'm not sure anybody pales in comparison to the concern I had. You guys know it. He was entered in the Ohio sale and didn't go. Right? He was entered in it. Immediately after the sale, I had second thoughts and, geez, maybe I should have sold him. You know, he still had mucus in his nose. Still rough. Would make the odd break. Really, I couldn't see a path. The only horse I said all winter, I just don't know if Procrastinator will get there, if we're looking at maybe later in his 2-year-old year, 3-year-old year. Mario told me he went a mile 13 today. James said he went faster. I would say track is short. I would say he went a mile in 2:12, come a half in 1:1 in the jog cart with Procrastinator today. That is by far the most unrealistic mile of the year. I sat behind Sweet Ambitions. I sat behind Perfect Record. Nothing compares to the transformation that I've seen in Procrastinator, the down by the seaside colt we have. That was incredible to watch today. And I haven't sat behind him. We just continued to persevere. We were baycoxing him, blistering his stifles, working on his front feet. Greg Wade has done an incredible job with with Procrastinator. He goes to them all the time, loves the horse, did a great job with him today. Just a great job all around. So Procrastinator, 3-point blue chip, Will to win Hanover, War We Welcome. Bomb Hugger, she's coming here. I want to get Bomb Hugger over here to Ohio, get her tightened up. Getting close now. It'll be May 1st next week. That gives us 8 weeks likely till her first race, stake race. Historically speaking, somewhere around the end of June is when New York generally starts. I could be wrong. I'll look into that. But there's no need sending me an email. By the time I'm done these videos, I will have known for sure when the first one is. And then LSL. It just makes sense to bring this horse over here. Pennsylvania's right there. Want to get this horse squared away. And it's not that he's doing anything wrong. Finished up and looked good today. But I want to see that powerful, flashy colt that I saw a month ago. What I see now is a follower. I want to see a leader. And I know that it's in there. I know he can do it. So we're going to get LSL over here also. Colt did a great job with this horse today. Sat in the hole. He followed perfectly. Did his work right. And finished up. I was pumped. Happy with every horse on this list. None of these horses are leaving there because I think they're doing a poor job. Quite the opposite. I think everybody's done a fantastic job, especially in Ontario today. James, Jimmy, Johnny, Harry, Mario, everybody that was Colt, everybody that was on the track, even Greg, everybody on the track today was professional and did an incredibly good job. But these horses represent horses that I left there for the most part. Procrastinator would be the 6th horse on this list. You really wouldn't have to twist my arm to leave this horse in Ontario with Greg right now. Really happy with what I've seen. What I do have to ask is I've talked to Jason because there's more room, but we need caretakers over here, and that's the problem. We do have one more caretaker coming this week, but finding caretakers around here is not easy, so we have to be careful. We don't want to overwhelm everybody heading into the summer season. So as of right now, the horses I have down to come here this week: Bomb Hugger, LSL, Procrastinator, 3-point blue chip, Will to win Hanover, and War We Welcome. Now, on the racing side, I just watched Brave World race. He finished 4th, raced good. So that's a 2nd and a 4th for him, I believe. 1 second, 1 4th, I believe. Timel Houdini raced great last night, closing hard on the end of it. Finished 2nd. I thought he raced well. Now, a lot of people asking, where's Yes? What's going on with Yes? I talked to Irv. There was a lot going on with Yes. I know Yes had made 2 breaks here, and he didn't look good his last start. And I know Irv said he was sick and he wanted to scratch him. I don't think that was false. I think that's true. But I think there was more to it than that. I know he was getting him checked by the vet, and then he was getting a green light from the vet. I've never had to get a green light to race a horse off sickness. So I think that Irv is just playing his cards close to the chest. He loves this horse, and I believe he wants to make sure that he's ready to go. So I know we got a lot of people saying, where's yes, where's yes? And truthfully speaking, you just want to know exactly what's going on with him. I would say Irv wants to make sure he's 100% when he races, both physically, health-wise, and physically, mechanically in his legs, that he's 100%. I don't think there's any issue. Something would have been brought up. I doubt Irv would not tell me. So I'm certain that the horse probably was a little sick and was scratched, but he just wants to make sure he's 100%. Cavill Hanover finished second the other day. Thought he raced good. Irv made a point to call me and say, I just don't think I got a shoeing perfect yet. I'm back and forth to Pennsylvania, moving my barn back. I'm going to be in Pennsylvania next week. I'm going to take the time to go with Yes and Cavill Hanover all week to make sure the horses are right. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is circling back with Irv this week on Cavill Hanover and Yes. We did have somebody call and ask to buy Cavill Hanover, but they didn't give us a price. And I think I have a price of what he's worth. We're not going to give a horse like him away. He's a pretty useful animal. Can race around any size track and leave. You know, did some good work for us in the fall, and a little bit again. The other day I thought maybe he's a little soft and getting beat, but that happens. Not the end of the world. I think he'll bounce back next week. So Yes and Cavill Hanover. I know my partners with Yes. Just take your time. Guy's a professional trainer. Do I wish all the cards were on the table? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, you can be sure that Irv just wants what's best for the horse, and I want to know what's best for the horse. I want to see what's best for the horse in front of me, and I want to be up to date on where he's at. He said he'll have a better idea of what's going on with Yes Monday morning. So I'll get a soft update Monday morning. I think what it's going to be is we'll qualify him back and then race him after that. So I'll have a soft update for everybody. By soft, I mean this is a rough idea of what we're doing. I don't think you'll see him into race. I think you'll see him into qualify in the next week or so. So Houdini was great. Brave World's racing well. He was fourth over on a half-mile track, finished fourth in 55. I thought he raced well. Yes, as I said, you know what I know now. Hopefully he'll be qualifying this coming week. Cavill Hanover raced well. He'll be back in next week. So that's the outside barns. Where does that leave us? What's going on with us? One more. Rocking Down Under. I don't talk enough about the Australian horses, I guess. I was down on this filly. I just thought she was a grinder. But Robbie did a great job with her. He looked like he had a sense of urgency on both wins. Won by 5 or 6 lengths. Both times he raced her. I thought she raced rather well both times, back Thursday. I don't know how the classifications go, but I hope she continues her trek forward. Clearly they're working their butts off to get these horses good. Rocking Down Under was good. Girl Oz is racing in the coming days, I believe, or coming week. And we have some 2-year-olds that are getting ready also. One didn't look so good the other day, but again, these are green horses. We'll see how she bounces back. But yeah, Australia, Rocking Down Under. Very happy with that filly this week. Now, here to North America, here to the stable. Let's talk about what went on at Jason Tim's barn. First and foremost, we had Won My Heart Hanover raced great in the final. You know, I can call a spade a spade. I think if I had just tapped her on the tail and maybe dropped my foot on her or just roared at her, I think I might have been able to get there. Maybe she when that horse ran in front of her, she shot through, and then you could tell she paused to look around. She's okay being a bridesmaid sometimes, I think. But a good mile, you guys. I mean, it was cold. And it was windy as hell, too. That was a good mile. The day Sweet Ambitions went in 56-1, there wasn't a breath of wind anywhere. Not so much as a breath. It was a hot day. The track was great. Everything worked out well. That's a mile 54, 55 on that day. Won My Heart Hanover raced great the other day. I was so impressed with her. Tim did a great job with her. She finished second. Fits an onwards of 2 still. We'll race her back next Thursday. Onwards of 2. We'll talk about my week next week here in a minute, because we have a couple of horses to speak about. But a busy week coming up for us. I don't race Monday and Tuesday. Somebody asked, why aren't you on Furley Fringes on Tuesday? Truthfully, it poured rain here on Wednesday night. Thursday they had qualifiers, and it was a soup can here. It was muddy, and Billy Davis schooled Furley Fringes in 2-2, and I said, hey, fair is fair. You schooled her, you want to drive her, go ahead and drive her. So he's going to drive her on Tuesday. Billy's done a great job and has always done a great job with us. So Frilly Fringes will race on Tuesday, and I'm not driving her. Gives me a day to maybe relax and maybe my stress to come down from what I've been through the last 2 weeks. So I don't race. Oso Pine, Billy's driving on Sunday. He's been driving him. Monday we don't race anywhere. I think Cruising in Style is in maybe Monday. Tuesday, Frilly Fringes, I'm not driving her. Now Wednesday, we have GW Chrome. He drew him with Italian Grit, but Travis loves Italian Grit. He's going to get reunited with him on Wednesday night. I'm going to drive George. He's going to drive Italian Grit. And then I was just trying to figure out what race it is out there. I got lots of time before I race again. And then a poor race last week from Fox Valley Britska. I'd like to see him bounce back. We did draw his blood and scoped him. A little bit of mucus, a little bit of dehydration. We can combat that, and we'll see how he races this coming week. So Won My Heart was great. George was great, finishing second. He bounces back this week again. Drew the 6-hole again. Oh, good to say. Fox Valley Britska and Italian Grit are in also. Now, we had a scratch yesterday. My Jazz, quite frankly, my Jazz is still lame. She was better yesterday. She has another little bit of a pus pocket. You can feel the spot trying to blow out. I'm going to go back and make sure we were tubbing her tonight. I'm going to go back here in a minute when I'm done this video and have a look at her. But she should be all right for next weekend. I can tell what's happening. You know, she had walled off another little piece of infection in there that blew out. We got it, most of it out. I think a little bit more is starting to come out, but she should be all right. The key for next week was I don't want to go to the Sire Stakes. They went 54-2, so we might have dodged a bullet scratching that filly yesterday. She certainly was not ready to go in 54-2. Let those horses beat each other up for a little while. I think we'll drop her into the Buckeye next Saturday. So next Saturday, it looks like this is a talk Jason and I have to have. I'm going to talk about Welland Downs race tonight. She was fantastic. She looks like she can go to the Buckeye. GW Chrome, I'd like to keep him in that series. I'm going to skip the first Buckeye with this horse. I want this horse to grow into a nice horse. You can tell. Trust me when I'm telling you. He's still mentally immature, this horse. Physically, he's getting better and stronger and cockier. But a trip down to the Buckeye to race against those horses, a 3-hour ship down to Miami Valley or whatever it is, may not be the best for him. So if you don't mind, I think we're going to skip the first Buckeye with GW Chrome and leave him here in the Iron Maiden series. So GW Chrome will not race in the Buckeye. But next Saturday, My Jazz will be in the Buckeye. I'm a Lovely Lady will be in the Buckeye. Mama Knows Best will be in the Buckeye. Holy Chick, I don't know what we're going to do with her Wednesday. She hit her jack the other day and it blew up quite big. We've been trying to treat it. She may not be able to go on Wednesday. Now, she drew 8 here. I don't know what the rules are exactly. If we can get her hawked down and comfortable, we could potentially scratch her sick here. Now in Ontario, we could scratch sick on Wednesday and race on Saturday. I don't know if you can, because an added money event, I believe you can. We're going to look into that. That's a possibility. That's a possibility for next week, but we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next few days with Holy Chick. Welland Down will go to the Buckeye. Obviously, Gray is the new red. I waited to scope her. A little bit of mucus. No blood. I thought I'd see blood. She's not going to the Buckeye. She can stay here in this series. I know she's not as good on the front end. I wouldn't buy the 2-hole because the 2 to 5 favorites in the 2-hole. I could have squeezed in there, but I'm thinking I'm going to be up the quarter in 27-4, 28. I was up 27-3, tapped the brakes at fit. I was certain Ronnie Wren would be coming. Now, if I just jam the air on and then the 2 to 5 favorite blows over to the front, 58-2, I just gave him the race. I'm still thinking win, right? She won on the front. Yeah, she wasn't great, but she won on the front. I get there 57-1 because he didn't even move him. He didn't move the horse. I couldn't tell what was going on behind me. I guess the horse was out of gear. 57-1, still not the end of the world. Exactly where we paced last week. She was done. She walked. So a little bit of mucus there we're going to treat, but not the end of the world. I think, just as Jason said, she's not as good on the front end. Keep her away from the front end, but, for what a tale of two cities, 2 horses, so to speak. Welland Down raced poorly last week, put her in the sale, put her on Lasix, come out and race like a monster tonight, flying on the end of it, 54-3 or 54-4, but raced huge. And then quite the opposite for Gray is the new red, raced poorly tonight, raced okay last week, but threw a real clunker in tonight. So For those of you people out there that were angry that she was in the sale, now you're starting to see exactly why I wanted to pave that road, why I wanted to make sure that that path was open. Although she's pretty, I know she's a pretty gray filly, she's not a stake horse. And I hope we can milk out some money in this series. She's going to have to race better than she did tonight. You know, you can say, Anthony, you shouldn't have put her on the front. Okay, she's a racehorse. She can't race on the front end. She can't race in with those horses even adequately to be a nice horse. Then why are we even having this discussion? There has to be, it would be nice if we just kept every horse. You know, I had 500 horses in 3 years. But it makes no sense. You know, I have to step back, not look at the pretty gray horse and say, okay, which of these horses are going to be helpful for the stable, and which ones of them maybe are just race horses somebody else can race. And I shouldn't have to tell everybody that. I know a lot of people get upset and say, well, why can't, wonderful email last week came in and said, why can't we ship her home, race her in the condition claimers at London and Flamborough? Well, we could, I suppose. But I can almost assure you every single month you're going to lose money on her. Just 1 second. What's up?
Are you doing videos?
I'm doing a little video here, bud.
Hi.
There's my man Jason. We were just talking about your stress level from all the horses being over here.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Today.
It's elevated. Well, in
right
fairness,
now I'm at a 2.
In all fairness, we were short a helper today, which that pisses me off. You know, the busiest day of our barn on any side of the border is Saturday, by far, especially drone day. And for somebody not show up, that really annoys me. But, you know, we're going to have to find some more help over here also. So, as I said, when it comes to, what race is going?
10's going out.
Oh, wow, making good time. So gray is the new red. As I said, tale of two horses. Well and down, we saw that she didn't race good. We saw what happened. Jason put her on Lasix. We gave her the opportunity to be a better horse. I drove her accordingly tonight. She raced like a monster tonight. If I move her down the backstretch, now, put yourself in my shoes. I'm sitting third along the inside. I could have greased Hunter Myers. I could have greased him, slid out, and I win for sure tonight in hindsight. I win by 2 lengths and 54-1. No problem. But coming off a bad line, I wanted to cover her up, and she was loose down the lane. She was charging at the wire. Exactly what we want to see. A mile that I can stand behind and say, that's why we took her to the Buckeye. And then you look at the other filly and say, okay, she's a pretty horse, but is she a useful horse for the stable.ca? She's going to have to do a lot more between now and sale time, put it that way. So those are the two pacing fillies. Then we raced the trotting filly. Back it up a little bit. We raced Mama Knows, qualified Mama Knows Best. I said to Jason, I don't think she could have qualified any better. You have no idea how messy the track was. I was covered when I come off the track. Mile in 2 minutes that morning, 30-1 on the end of it. She jogged and looked really, really good. I was super impressed with her. I'm a Lovely Lady, as I said in the video the other night. Why don't you jump in? As I said in the video the other night, I'm a Lovely Lady. I thought she was awesome. As I said to Jason, she raced like she looks. She looks a little rough around the edges, and she raced a little rough around the edges. The good news is we can get her looking better, and I suspect when we get her looking better, she's going to race much, much better. So to the Buckeye with I'm a Lovely Lady, Mama Knows Best, and My Jazz, I'd be super pumped. I was just telling them we could look at the rules also as far as the horse with the big hawk. In Ontario, we could scratch that filly sick on Wednesday and race in the Buckeye on Saturday. Don't know if he can here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get her hawk down. I think you better look into that. I think you might be wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's pie in the sky. First things first, we got to get that hawk down. She hits it in a tough spot. There's not a lot there. And when you get horses that hit that area, sometimes it blows up. Look, we got another McGinnis. What's up? Yeah. Sometimes it blows up, and it's a tender area. When they blow up in that jack area, it's tough, man, to get that down. It just takes work. And I can tell you what's not best for it is just racing her like it didn't happen. That's not going to happen. So we're going to have to take a look at Chick this week. I know you texting Dave to ask. Oh, I was wrong. So theoretically next Saturday, Well and Down for sure is going to the Buckeye. Super impressed with her tonight. Couldn't be happier with her. The 3 fillies, maybe a 4th, but that'll depend on a couple of factors. 1, the rules in Ohio. 2, how's that hawk look? And we'll see about her. So right now, we have a number of horses to train up this week, to race next week. How does my week look? Monday, I'm not racing. Sunday, you have also Pine with Billy. Monday, I'm not racing. Cruising in Styles racing in New York somewhere. Tuesday, the filly, what's her name? Frilly Fringes is racing Tuesday with Billy Davis. We talked about that. Now, Wednesday, I'm going to drive Eglarium. I'll tell you right now, Eglarium trained by herself this morning, 59 last quarter in 28 seconds. She's ready to rock for Wednesday. She'll head down to Tim soon. Here right now, Sweet Ambitions and Brave World, or Sweet Ambitions and Braemar, they're not in this week. Braemar will be in Saturday in the Stallion Series in Pennsylvania. They start Saturdays because I don't think they race Saturdays all winter. 4th day is this week.
Meadows?
Yeah, start Saturdays.
You're in Miami Valley.
Oh, it's 3 hours away. I hope he's in early or somebody else will be driving.
They start at like 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, that could be a little tricky. So I know Braemar has a Stallion Series Saturday, and Jason just reminded me you got a ton of horses in at Miami Valley. So Saturday might be a little hairy for me. I'll tell you who is in the Meadows on Saturday. Mark J. McDonald is in the Meadows on Saturday also. So he told me because he has wheels to drop off. So Wednesday, I have GW Chrome Fox Valley Britska. Travis Henry has Italian Grit in with us. Do we have anything else in Wednesday? Chick at this point is in, but
Holy Chick, GW Chrome, Fox Valley Britska.
Italian
5
Grit.
total. Italian Grit, my horse.
Oh, and your
5
horse.
total.
Thursday, we don't have anything. We don't race Thursday here, do we? Thursday, we have One My Heart Hanover at the Meadows. Do we have any qualifiers? School? War We Welcome might be coming over to qualify and leave. She'll be here a couple of days. I don't know where I'm going to race her yet. She's going to be, theoretically, she's in to qualify. We got a couple of schoolers, I think you told me.
Compass Rose, that's my girl.
Compass Rose, and that's my girl. Thursday. Friday. What do we have Friday? Anything here? Do we race here Fridays?
No.
Friday, Northville. Thursday and Friday they race, so that'll be Time Houdini Brave World. Friday we have nothing here. Friday at the Meadows, I don't know what is there. We'll find out. But Saturday is going to be a big day for us in Miami Valley. Do we have anything else here Saturday? Oh, the Gray Philly will race
Cam
here.
Colizzi and the Gray are didn't put Travis on them.
Yeah. So Saturday, a big day in Miami Valley. Not quite as big a day here in Northfield. We'll see. So a big week ahead of us. So a good training day today. Who else did you train today?
We trained Globetrotting, Compass Rose, Path of Totality.
Path's getting close to, I think, schooler in a week, 2 weeks?
Travis trained her in 14. We'll give her another.
Yeah, she's going to need at
We'll
least
race
another
Biker
week.
next weekend and then maybe school the week after.
So she's getting close. Path of Totality will be very close. I think we're going to school That's My Girl also on Thursday. She's getting close. I was happy with her today. I watched her go. A number of horses getting ready to go.
Judy.
A number of horses. Judy's training down, but she won't be ready for a month and a half or so. Judy's getting closer. She's got a big year ahead of her in Delaware, hopefully. So a lot of things rounding up here. You guys got to see the first time ever. We had a simulcasted, double live training session today from Northfield Park in Ohio. It went out in Ontario also. Went off without a hitch. Curtis did a fantastic job. And I got to watch the Ontario sets. They look great. And we got to experience them here. I thought they were fantastic also. And you went with Amy's horse. A lot of pressure on Jason today. We had horses shipping back from PA. We didn't.
No.
Tell him even if it's an added money event Saturday.
I told him.
Oh well, you know. And Jason went with Unbeatable Kemp today. He was very, very good also. So it wasn't a perfect day. We had some hitches. We had 3 horses make breaks here. 3 repeat offenders we're working on. I had the vet look at 1-2 skip a few again today also. You can see she's still a little rickety, but man, she's tough. Down the lane, we were really smoking on the end of it, Unbeatable Kemp and her, and she's just so tough. She gutted it out right through the wire. But the vet's got a pretty good handle on her. Her feet bug her a little bit. We have the proper shoes on, working on her feet every day. Her knees are a little pinchy. 2-year-old filly, not that shocking. Left stifle was a little bothersome for the veterinarian today. He's going to put some iodine there. So, Monday, yeah. Everything we do from here on out will be under a microscope. So every horse that trains bad, I want to know why, and I need them on a path to resolution immediately. That goes for here or Ontario. Any horses that I feel need to come over here immediately will. unless they're Ontario bred. We still have Harry, Mario, Johnny that will be in charge of the barn. James will only be on a couple of weeks and he'll come back as Ontario starts up. So that's your opening video. Over 35 minutes. I'm going to go race here in a minute. It was a great day today of training. The babies were awesome. Decent night racing tonight. Grey's a New Red was a little flat, but Well and Down wasn't. She was incredibly good. Big week coming for the stable. And as always, summer is on the way. It will be May 1st next weekend. I will talk to all you guys soon. Here's your opening from Saturday night at Northfield Park. Say goodbye, Jason.
See ya.
Take care.